Has your gratitude become lifeless and nothing more than a pleasant emotion?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about today here on My Sober Truth. Well, it's May 25th, and it's time for another double shot of My Sober Truth. Sean, progressive gratitude. Woo, boy, we were reading this, and this hit us right between the eyes. We wrote these questions about a week ago, and you read this.
Yeah.
And what was your response?
I read that opening question, has your gratitude become lifeless and nothing more than a pleasant emotion? And immediately I wanted to pull out a sledgehammer and pound it into my own head. I mean, it's just boom, boom, boom. Because before you start reading some of this stuff, man, it can hit you right between the eyes. Right. Even if you're doing well, right, it still hits you right between the eyes because it just reminds me when I read this stuff, this ain't no game.
Right.
This is serious life or death stuff for me. And if I don't do it, I could start going backwards.
Exactly.
And I don't want to go backwards.
You know, the title's Progressive Gratitude, but in reality, you think about it, recovery is progressive.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're either progressing in life, advancing,
wow, or
we're declining because, you know, I've always said for years, there's no such thing as being static.
Right.
You know, and so it's kind of interesting. And I love the line in the middle of this. It says, I can't stay sober on yesterday's meetings or past 12th step calls. You know, what's the meme that showed up recently about, and it's been making the circles about sobriety being something I get to pay rent on every day.
Every day. That's right. And there's another kind of a saying that goes around in recovery circles about if you're not doing the things that are moving you forward, while you're in a meeting, you're the monkey on your back. He's out in the parking lot doing push-ups. He's just waiting on you. And because my gratitude is progressive, my recovery is progressive, but the whole time that I'm doing these things that help me become a better man, become a better Sean, become a better husband, father, all the things that I'm trying to be better at, my addictions are still out there, and they're not getting smaller. They're still growing. We talk about it quite a bit about if you're not taking care of the things you need to take care of, when you go back, if you backslide, when you go back, you don't go back to the same place you left off. You go back to 3 years worth of progress or 5 years, however far down the line you are, your addiction has still been progressing as well. So when you go back, you're going to be way worse off than you were.
You mentioned a couple of things, but I'm going to define the question because I want to make sure that we got that out clearly. So what's your secret sauce? What's your pro tips, as it were, for keeping your gratitude fresh and in action every day?
Well, it's this. It's coming and hanging out with you and talking about it. It's going to meetings. It's getting on the phone and calling friends, going to have breakfast or lunch with a friend who's also in recovery. It's reminding myself every day that I've got work to do.
Right.
And, you know, it's something I talk about with sponsees and just other people that I talk about. Even at work, I talk about this. A lot of people, I heard growing up that I had so much potential. Potential is nothing. Potential is a rock sitting on the edge of a hill.
Right.
But it's not, it's just a rock. Right. It doesn't matter that it's sitting on the edge of the hill. It doesn't matter until somebody kicks it down the hill.
Right.
Then it has tons, you know, that potential's there. But it's the same way with me. It doesn't matter how much potential I have or anyone else has if you're not doing something about it. If you're not out there putting in some work, putting in some action, trying to make yourself into who you are, who you want to be. You know, I talk to my kids about this all the time. I don't preach to them to go be a lawyer. I don't talk to them to go be whatever the job is. I tell them the biggest thing they need to figure out is what they want to be. And then once they figure out what they want to be, figure out what it takes to be that. And then decide if you're willing to do that. If not, maybe you need to recalculate what you want to be in life. It's the same way. What kind of how good do I want my gratitude to be?
Right.
How good do I want my recovery to be? however good I want it to be is how much work I need to put in.
I agree. Recently, I think yesterday or the day before, we were talking about spiritual health. And so we talk about this concept, and it brings me back to that old spiritual truth that basically says faith without works is dead. Our gratitude without works is dead. In that situation, potential without work is dead in that situation. So I love it. Thank you so much for sharing this. And so as we wrap up, I want to ask pretty much our viewers the same question I just asked you. Folks, what are you doing today to put your gratitude into action, to breathe new life into it? Take a few moments, put your answers down in the comment section below. We can't wait to read what you have to say, and we can't wait for what you say to impact someone else today. And on that note, for My Sober Truth, I'm Mark.
Hey, I'm Sean, and here's hoping that you stay drunk with success. Love y'all.
Bye.
Hi, folks. Thanks for watching. If you're ready for another round of My Sober Truth, then belly on up to mysobertruth.com and click on the double shot button today. There you'll find the daily inspiration, encouragement, and support that'll help you stay clean, on track, and growing in every area of your life. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, and if you got a minute, stick around, watch another video. Love y'all.